structure for passives. A passive sentence is a type of sentence, as we went through in the previous lecture. We have active sentences and passive sentences. Remember, an active sentence requires the agent as the subject. A passive sentence doesn't require the agent in the sentence. Now, we have different tenses that we can use for passives. Let's have a look at the structure for the first one. Here we have the past simple passive. It's constructed like so. A subject plus was or were plus a past participle verb. So look at the two examples below. First, we have the active sentence. Somebody cleaned the office yesterday. The structure of this active sentence is subject plus verb plus object. However, look at the passive sentence. The office was cleaned yesterday. The structure of this is subject, the office, was, plus the past participle verb, cleaned. Notice the word that we have omitted. We've omitted the agent, somebody, because it's not necessary to mention it. Here we have the present simple passive. It's a similar structure, except we change the be verb. So we have subject plus is or are plus a past participle verb. Look at the active sentence first. Farmers raise cows for their meat and milk. Now the passive sentence goes like this. Cows are raised for their meat and milk. Here we have cows as the subject, are plus the past participle verb raised. What have we omitted in this sentence? We've omitted the agent, farmers. Why did we omit it? Because it's not really necessary. Everyone knows that farmers raise cows, so it's unnecessary to mention it. In this sense, a passive sentence is perfect. That's the basic structure of passive sentences. Now remember, one of the features is that we don't have to mention the agent, the doer of the sentence. But sometimes, if we want, we can mention it in a passive sentence. But we use a special structure. We use the word by to mention the agent at the end of the sentence. Have a look at this. If we wish to mention the agent of the sentence, we simply add the word by at the end of a passive. So here is the structure. As we went through before, subject plus is or are for the present passive, or was or were for the past passive, plus a past participle verb, plus by. Now by, as I mentioned, is optional. We can mention the agent using by if we wish. So look at these two examples. The first example doesn't mention the agent. Have a read. The building was destroyed in 1991, but was rebuilt in 1995. So we have two passive forms in this sentence: was destroyed and was rebuilt. In both examples, we do not mention the agent, so we don't know the doer of either one. Now look at the next example. We have mentioned the agent in both examples of the passive. So have a read. The building was destroyed by a fire in 1991, but was rebuilt by a team of specialists in 1995. Can you see we've mentioned the agent now? In the first use of the passive, was destroyed, the agent is a fire. And in the second example of the passive, was rebuilt, the agent is a team of specialists. Mentioning the agent is usually optional in a passive. We can include it if we wish, but we don't have to. Sometimes we want to simply focus on the other thing in the sentence. If I wanted to simply focus on the building, I might choose sentence 1 without focusing on the agents. That's the structure of passives. We learned the past and the present passive forms, and we learned that we can add the agent at the end of the sentence using by. Remember, we don't have to add the agent if we don't want to. If it's unknown or unimportant or people in general, it's not necessary. But sometimes a writer or a speaker uses passive sentences in a tactical way. Sometimes maybe they don't want to mention the agent because it might detract from their story, or it suits their agenda to keep it secret. So sometimes writers use it in a tactical way so that they can keep it secret, you see? Or sometimes they want to highlight the other thing in the sentence, because you can move the other thing to the beginning of the sentence. This highlights it and makes it more obvious to the reader or listener. So there are many, many uses of passives. Keep that in mind. Now move on to the next lecture. I'll see you there.